And we're ready, and the players are ready, and it's tungsten time! Well, let's get this party started from Group 1. It's match number 1. Please welcome the sniper, Connor Scott! And our Week 4 champion, the Dutch Circoiner, he is Jimmy van Schie!
I am number 1, not number 2. If I'm not the one, I'm uncomfortable. See the competition I've been running through. Leveled up, I only see it in my rear view.
Scott. And with the fact Jimmy not setting up, he didn't need to go this way, Connor Scott. But why not when you've got darts like that? What a superb effort that for Connor Scott. That would have really settled him down.
He spent the last 2 days at home. He talked about the possibility of being at home on Thursday and Friday. After Tuesday,
99.
Then he won 5 straight games on
16.
Wednesday to get that luxury. Can he start ideally? Yes, he does. 17 darts is good enough to take the first leg. That's solid. In fact, the biggest has come from Jimmy van Schie, 167. All the way back to that first game on Monday.
He was searching for that moment, wasn't he? I mean, where that first start was sat.
128.
An element of disappointment there, but it's a job well done. Connor will feel he's going to get at least a dart. It will be only one dart. It's at tops.
Game shot on the second leg.
Clinical from Connor. Second round of Alexandra Palace around 9 months ago.
Yeah, he lost to Gerwen Price in that game. A wry smile. And just a little reminder, Jimmy, who might change his tact on this 91 now. He's gone very aggressive, not guaranteeing himself a shot at least at the bullseye.
67.
Well, Connor Scott was smiling
87.
at the end of the last visit. He believes that he's going to win this game right now on double 5. And he was right.
And the match, Connor Scott.
You could say he's the number 1 seed tonight. And he really has enjoyed that first performance by winning 4-0 against Jimmy van Schie. He will need one leg when he returns to the stage in match number 5 to be in the semi-finals. A very steady display, and it tells you everything you need to know about Connor when he has not afforded Jimmy one dart at a double, and he was 67% on the double. So, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, it's time to focus on Group 2. And our second match is going to be Marvin van Velsen, who is unbeaten this week, against Steve West.
Steve, you require 47.
We've seen big numbers missed, but that's plumb in the middle. Biggest start of the match.
Game shot on the third leg, Steve West.
There is Adam Lipscomb. And Thomas Banks, who has played in Champions Week this week,
Game on.
is now in the corner of his close friend West. He decided on bull. And that's how much he wanted to leave tops. He has left it.
98.
But this would be a game-changing shot.
Yes, it would be for a breaker throw. The opportunity to save out the match, and that's the perfect first. And an even better second dart. That's the moment Marvin van Velsen's been waiting for all night.
Marvin's not played his best darts in this match. But it's testament to his form that one of his poorer performances is still an 89 average. One more double. And he's halfway to the semis.
The perfect marker, surely.
20. Steve, you
I smell a lifeline.
90.
Now, what does he do this time on 90? Will he persevere with bull this time? No. He wants it at the end.
65.
That was a chance to take us all the way.
Marvin, you require 20.
Well, it was a bit of a slow burner of a start for Marvin. This is what he does. He won't throw that dart until he's 100% ready. The eyes on double 10.
That looks a little too close. He's going to have to find another angle. But remember the 60 from earlier in the match.
10.
This time he doesn't find the mark, and West gets
Stevie
another
required
lifeline.
25.
I'm amazed he didn't go the other side. The bed was still open. I just felt he could see enough of that double 10.
Remember earlier in the match when he had 25, he went 1 double 12. He's persevering. Doesn't change the plan.
Six leg, Steve Wijk.
And West will wonder how he's still in this match. He's got the darts now and hopes he will return. He might not, but now he gets 3 darts at 20 to win this one by the finest of margins.
Nothing to separate both players. Van Velzen's had opportunity, but it's Steve West that takes his opportunity. It was a slow burn of a start. Marvin Van Velzen obviously looks very disappointed. He had match darts. And Steve West just explaining there, possibly about that raised docky. As we mentioned, he's had that major surgery, but nothing to separate them. Forget the averages. It was all about bottle at the end. And that double 10 sees Steve West in a vital 4-3 win. And he gets 2 points. As we move back to Group 1, it's Jimmy Van Schie against Tom Sykes. Tom Sykes at 90. You'd expect him to get at least a dart at the bull. But this is all Jimmy can do. Another one of them would be nice.
171.
They always say that
Tommy
twice is nice,
90.
but thrice is nicer. Double 15. That is a monstrous hit from Sykes. With Van Schie sitting on double 18 to take leg 2. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
The fact he's on 145. It's the right thing. Maybe too aggressive on the treble 40. He's probably already seen in his mind there.
Tom, you
But
require
leave 40.
145.
Because this is a tall order. This is a big ask.
105.
He's done his job.
Jimmy, you require 40.
If you're not going to take the shot, leave it handy.
Break a throw. 3-1 lead.
It's on a
No
fourth
problem.
leg, Jimmy Van Schie.
Jimmy Van Schie, look what it means to his army of fans. They are so loud, let me tell you.
He has missed a single low.
Yeah, he's not the only one to be missing big numbers tonight. I've got a theory that you're already thinking of the
43.
bullseye or the double.
Tom, you require
Tom Sykes needs a
115.
spark. Does he start in the 19s?
A bit like that 90 from earlier. He needs this to cooperate.
It's the angles of the darts going in. But that is perfect. And that is
He's on
sweet
the
as
fifth
enough.
leg,
And that is why
topside.
so many people are talking about Tom Sykes. They have travelled a long way to come and see him. Focus now.
Oh, that had a little bit of an extra triple axel at the end, didn't it? Wow, the Olympics is finished, but Tom Sykes is still trying to get the judges' attention with that 180.
140.
Tom's dad in the crowd, he is beside himself right now. He can't even sit down.
134.
Yes, I think it's really important for Tom. Sometimes you can get a bit emotional when you see your family there, but look at this.
100.
What a match.
5 180s in this contest, and we're not done yet.
99.
The only way we get another one is if we get another leg. Sykes on the combos.
81.
That's why he's still in this
Tommy
match.
require
There's a
88.
bit of everything, and that for Jimmy, but this time it goes in the treble 20. Both on 2 darters. It's the bullseye for Sykes.
63.
So
Jimmy, you
close.
require 100.
Jimmy did not get a match start in the previous leg. Does he get one this time? The jury's out. Is the double in? Listen to that! And Jimmy Van Schie is still alive! Tom Sykes is in a bit of trouble, and he's going to have to wait until Game 5 to see if he can make his way through to the semi-finals for the second time on a Champions Night, but Jimmy and his clan are very happy with that. The performance of the night so far, 98.76, and the doubles, when he got his shots, he took advantage of Tom Sykes not finding enough in his arsenal on that occasion. So in 6 legs, We saw brilliant drama, and now we turn our attention back to group number 2, and it's time to say hello to Derek Coulson, and he's up against Marvin van Velsen, who still has to win. Hold the phone. The coolest cat in the place is on the 135. Tops. Oh, that stings!
Derek Coulson.
And look at the confidence from DC of Shropshire.
It's been a week of double 16. He's pinged that double tops. Lifeline.
On a fifth leg,
There
Marvin
it is, Marvin van
Velsen.
Velsen. It is just a holder throw. Still very much advantage to Derek Coulson. Something special.
Derek, you require
But it's been an incredible week with Derek Coulson so far. If he gets down to a double, he hits it, remember.
He's had 2 to win it. He's not going to get any more at this visit. Marvin's mission is to win 4-3 and hope.
93. Marvin, you require
Oh, he's had
24.
ups and downs on this double 12. Hasn't always been his friend. Friend of 4. And that's all based on that stunning first dart. Just above the double. Use that dart straight into the double.
Well,
52.
if Marvin takes this out, Derek might be out. Because Marvin's won the match by winning the last 3 legs. And now, if Coulson loses his next match, he won't even make the semi-finals after having match darts. In that contest, what is going on with the brinksmanship from the Dutch guys tonight? They are fighting back. And Marvin, who's had a lot of averages like that this week, has found a way to take out number 1 player from Group C. Derek Coulson has lost by 4 legs to 3. We're all a bit surprised, but thank you, Marvin, for the drama. Wow. Let's all have a little bit of a break, but when we come back, we will culminate Group number 1.
Tom, you require 90.
And again, that might change his strategy now. Does he go safe with a second? Yes, he does. To get on the board. What a way to do it, though, Tom Sykes. That's what we've been waiting for. They've travelled a long way.
If you don't want any more of Sykes this week, beat him now, because later he'll be stronger. Oh, we nearly had our first one of the week.
Tom, you
Right there,
139.
Sykes still fighting for leg 4.
Yeah, it was a drift into the 5, which left a 139 for Sykes. That's a horrid finish.
99.
And it was a 25 finish in the opening leg. It was clinical, right smack bang in the middle of the big 9. Right in the middle of the double 8. And exactly the same scenario again for Connor Scott. He is looking mighty fine right now.
5.
It's that 90 finish. This time it's the treble 20. This simply has to go.
75.
And is that the last dart Tom
Connor,
Sykes
you
throws
require 65.
at the Motor Super Series this week?
He believes it is. 46 left. And a match dart at tops.
45.
Tom
You
Sykes
require 15.
is still here.
Remember the previous game, 3-1 down, opportunity. Tom Sykes won't be thinking that right now. But that is the scenario. It's a sarcastic lift of his arms because he knows he hasn't been his brilliant best. Look at the support. Look at the passion. Look at the drive from the family.
Game on.
Yes, Tom, listen to your dad.
Yeah, double 8 has been good for him. But no dramas with Tom Sykes back on 2-1-0. You never lose, Tom. You learn.
58.
And you'll
Connor,
look
you
back.
require
You'll
16.
self-reflect. You've just been up against someone
Game
in
shot
Connor
and the
Scott
match.
who's an
Connor
exceptional
Scott.
player. Connor Scott is a favourite going into the competition, and he's delivered 2 wins in that group, the death of Group 1. And what a potential story of Connor Scott going through. We didn't doubt that, but Jimmy Vansky, after that 4-0 defeat, they both go from Group 1. It was tight. They were both averaging around about 100. Tom Sykes just petered off at the end there, but Connor Scott a 97.01, solid on the doubles as well. He is looking tremendous, and Connor Scott is in the semi-finals. But don't miss the final game of the round robin. We go back to Group 2, all to play for. It's Derek Coulson against Steve West. When you go aggressive, that drift seems to happen when you're down, And it could be 3-0 if this double five goes in. It is 3-0 Steve West.
Steve West.
Obligatory fist pump to go with it. He's one away.
Steve just did the right thing by busting the entire score to go back to where he was. And he's going to go back to double 18. And he's shaking his head in the background. Now, it's all about positive self-talk. If he feels negative, he won't hit this. If he's positive, he will. He has hit it. And he wins the game by 4 legs to 0. Not just that, he wins his group for the second time on a Champions Night. And the last time he did that, in series number 4, he went on to the semi-finals and did not make the final. He's looking to go one better. And with that 83.5 average, it wasn't a classic game, but Steve West will not care, and neither will Marvin van Velzen, who is going to take on Connor Scott in the first semi-final. Get ready, everybody. Get settled. The semi-finals are coming right at you. But this one feels a little bit worrying.
I love the fact he's looking at his family. But this is what happens to you when things aren't going your way. Now, it was them type of tops that Connor Scott's been hitting against others. Marvin's missed an opportunity there. Can Scott bounce back?
He can't leave the double that got him through to Champions Week.
87. Marvin, you require...
But
40.
Marvin on tops to double his lead. This is what's called a consolidation chance. You break, but it's only a break if you hold next. He does hold.
On his second leg.
He's halfway to the final. One participant in a series final. England has had 8. That might be about to change. Especially with darts like that.
Well, I was asked the question at the beginning of the night, who would win it? When we did our chat between us, I said Connor Scott. But when I was put on the spot right at the end, there's just something about the relationship I seem to have with this microphone in my hand, with this Marvin van Velzen. I thought this was going to be the final. They're playing darts like it should be the final. And the Dutchman is doing a demolition job.
Well, the person in the crowd there that was really liking that shot, I concur.
100. Marvin, you require...
What a leg this is from Marvin. This is to break again.
Wow. On a third leg, Marvin van Velzen.
The odds state that we do not get a better leg than that tonight.
The decision maker wasn't where I thought it was going to be.
I think the board management there was all about, if I get treble 19, I don't want to go inside and get myself on a small double. At least this way, he's going at a primary shot. But I stress, 40. Don't miss. And as soon as I stop talking, he hits. And he's still here. Connor Scott is not done. Connor has left a number that can yield a finish if he maxes. There you go. And that's why you leave 344 instead of 343. He knows that. The board management is perfect. And this game is game on.
What a conclusion. The trebles are going dry for Van Velzen at the worst possible time. He had this match in the grasp of his hands, that 180 from Scott. Can he leave it pretty? He needs a treble.
60. Marvin, you require 109.
Who gets a shot at a double first? It should be Marvin.
69.
That was a dart to make the final.
You require 104.
Scott now needs to reach deep.
All the success Connor has had over the past few months, but this is one of his biggest finishes of his life. He needs 85 points. He can't do it. Van Velzen looks so solid 52. On tops for the match.
40.
To knock out the favourite and to become the second Dutch player to make a Super Series final. He's made it! And Marvin van Velzen, the general of the Marvin Army, is through to the championship game. And there's still a possibility that he could take on his countryman Jimmy Van Schie in the final. We'll find out who wins between Van Schie and West next, but that's what you've just seen. Connor Scott, a second time tonight he's averaged 91. The first time it was good enough to beat a Dutchman 4-0. This time it wasn't good enough to get the 4 legs he needed. And the favourite is gone. And Marvin is still alive. Somehow. What a night he's had. We'll debrief when we come back. Take that in. We'll come back with the second semi-final after this.
Yeah, great crowd. Like I said, when they do shouting, they will hear.
180.
There's a bit of a delayed reaction there from the massive.
Yeah, the acoustics in this building as well. It just reverberates around the
40.
arena enough to lift Jimmy.
requires 67.
He's looking good for 1-1.
He is now. And he is 1-1 now.
Jimmy Van Schie.
Go on, can he squeeze another one in?
100.
Not quite.
Stevie requires
Now,
68.
is it a blessing that West left 68 instead of 32? Because this way, he can leave tops. There it is.
On a third leg, Steve Wijk.
And we haven't seen that all week. This one has got 4-3 written all over it. Unless there's a bit of a twist coming.
Jimmy requires
That's
32.
all you can do in that circumstance. Make your opponent think. That's a nervy dart. That's wild.
And that is very smart. Stepping back because they were not very good at all.
16.
Now, we have to issue a tornado warning in Portsmouth because things are about to get very twisty. It looked like 2-2. Trusty tops again. And West is within 1.
That's the route he likes to go on that 30. Now he's thinking, I should have gone direct for double 19. And Jimmy Van Schie's probably felt he's already been out already tonight. Surely not again. Oh, Jimmy! He's decided to stop. It's a rise smile. What a finish! What a man! What a response! And look what it means to his Barmy Army. Steve West, what are you thinking right now?
All he can do now is wait to see if Jimmy doubles down on ton plus finishes. Double 16. And it only just found the single.
It only did, but gives him time just to go back. Has it been a help? He stares at double 16. Steve can't look. Absolutely incredible, Jimmy Van Schie. Look what it means to them. 1-5-1 finish, 1-3 finish. That's what he's all about. Absolutely sublime.
What does he do? Double 5.
20.
And 5 is the number
Jimmy
that isn't going to take him through. 28 for Van Schie will allow him to steal this semi-final and crush the dreams of the 5-time weekly champion. It's Jimmy Van Schie who makes the final. It's going to be an all-Dutch final for the very first time here in Portsmouth. Marvin van Velsen will take on Jimmy Van Schie for the title. And Steve West, after everything he's been through, was so close to making it to the championship game. But Series 8 is not going to be his. These numbers from this game do not tell the story of the drama we've seen in the last 17 and a half minutes, because now we look forward to our final. The very last game of Series 8 will be between two young Dutchmen to be the very first Dutch Super Series champion. 41 gives you options.
41.
And he might stay away from tops this time. He's going to go over the top like he did earlier on. And it's worked again.
Leg, Jimmy Van Schie.
He looks cool, doesn't he? He just missed the double. And things could swing back to Marvin now if he finds 56. Interestingly, Jimmy dodged tops in the last couple of legs. Marvin can't.
Game's on a third leg.
That's the biggest celebration we've seen from him all week. In fact, the biggest we've seen since he won his
Fourth
week
leg. It's Jimmy to throw
in week
first.
10.
Have the trophy than the money.
81.
Let me tell you, the 25 grand prize as Jimmy looks at this 81. He'll go on he should go on the 12s. That's confident for double 16.
Game's on a fourth leg. Jimmy Van Schie.
Here's a question for you. Does Jimmy Van Schie still believe?
Fifth leg. It's Marvin to throw
That is
first.
a silly question.
Game on.
Of course he does.
Marvin, you require
The least
G2.
popular result in finals is 4-2. We've only had that once, and that was when Littler beat Osborne. That's nice. That's even
Game's on
nicer.
a fifth leg. Marvin
He
Van
needs
Velsen.
one more leg to be champ.
It
You
looks
require
like we are
67.
going all the way.
Are we, Jimmy? You bet
So
we
the
are.
sixth leg. Jimmy Van
One
Schie.
leg to see who the champ is. For the second consecutive
Seventh and
series,
final leg.
we go
It's
to leg
Marvin to
7.
throw first. Game
It was
on.
to beat Matt Clark. And earlier this year, it was Andreas
96.
Harrison who beat Cameron Crabtree with the best finish ever seen here in Portsmouth. What will be the next chapter?
This is the moment you practice for. You can't replicate it into
59.
practice. The adrenaline, your thought, your mind's going elsewhere. You're a leg away. It's advantage Van Velzen once again. 40 points ahead plus them. In a decided leg, Marvin Van Velzen. That is classy. That's the X factor.
Jimmy's probably thinking right now, I don't think I can catch him.
57.
We haven't had a break of throw in this final.
Now Marvin's just thinking, just one treble. Doesn't really want to fly around the dartboard to the 18s of the bullseyes. Doesn't need to. But you have to on that finish.
85.
Or treble 15 even, Paul.
I really, really like that. Because he knows if he hits the treble 15, his next visit, he'll want a ton. Doesn't necessarily want to take this out. He just wants to line up the shot for the title.
140.
The difference in this game could have been about 20 minutes ago when they were going closest to the bullseye. Should go downstairs. Does go downstairs. Just a small opening for Jimmy. He's had moments like this tonight and then pinged in a 180. He's already had 3 180s in this game. Boy, does he need one now.
You're not kidding. But the man with the biggest watch in the place has now got more time than maybe he's
100.
ever had to win any
Marvin, you
title.
require 100.
He's within 2 darts of winning Super Series 8. He'd love a treble 20 with the first dart or the second, but all he's going to do is line it up.
60.
He's sensible. He's got an old head on young shoulders as Marvin Van Velzen. And what a moment for him. You can just see him. He's replayed this type of moment in his mind a million times. Are you up for the
95.
job, Marvin?
Marvin, you require 40.
Time to find out. Double top.
20.
3 championship darts missed. And
you
Jimmy Van
require
Schie is on a
130.
ton plus checkout yet again. 151 earlier to save his skin. Can he do it one more time? Treble 20 must be found. Not this time, and Marvin comes back for 10s.
That was his moment. He'll have fancied his
90.
chances, but what he has done, he's got
Marvin, you
plan
require
B. He's
20.
given himself a dart, and Marvin Van Velzen, who's had an opportunity already at tops. It's a different target. Can he do it?
Yes, he can!
And the Motor
Marvin
Super
is the
Series
man.
8 champion, Marvin
He
Van
wins
Velzen.
Super Series 8 and is the first Dutch player to succeed in Portsmouth. What a match that was. There's going to be a very emotional Marvin Army tonight. He wins by 4 legs to 3 And he was the only person in the final who got a match dart. And he is the first person to hit double 10 to win a series as well. I think the most important thing, Glenn, is that he's the first Dutch player to succeed here. What do you think?
Yeah, just give him his moment there. Look at him, because you can't bottle that 5, 10, 15 seconds, but he's done it. I mean, Jimmy Van Schie was the better player. It was all about timing. He was averaging round about 100 when Marvin was 10 points behind there. But Marvin van Velzen won the bullseye behind 20 minutes before that game, and that proved pivotal in that match, Paul.
It did. 130 left for Jimmy Van Schie. He found 90 of them with a bullseye at the end, but he couldn't find that vital treble 20 that he needed. If he had, he would have had a shot for the title himself. But yeah, Marvin, he just found the right things at the right times on throw.
Timing, absolute timing. Jimmy Van Schie went off the stage there, but he must see the positives. But it's all about Marvin van Velzen. He's on the stage with Henry Deacon.
Marvin van Velzen, the Modus Super Series champion. How does that sound?
Unbelievable, man. After that first game, I don't even notice it. It was just like hope to beat Derek and just go through to the semi-final. And then I beat Connor, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And yeah, can't believe it still.
Earlier on in the night, when you lose that first game, you find yourself behind against Derek. What could you draw upon? What did you draw upon?
Sorry, once again?
We're getting that second game. What did you draw upon?
When I won it?
Yeah, when you, yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy, and just I didn't notice what the standings were, and I know that afterwards it was like, or it is a 9-dot shootout, so I could be ended first, or I was through. So I could be out also with a 9-dot shootout, but I thought I'm through, or I could be sank first. So that's what my positive mindset was. And then I know, and then Steve beat Derek, and I knew that I was through, and then, yeah, just went focused.
Let's talk about the final, because that swung one way, then another. Both players with opportunities in it. Let's go straight to that last leg. When Jimmy brings it back to 3-3, what's going through the mind?
Nothing. That's. I think that's why I won the last leg for myself. That you don't think anything, just went on, and then did I hit a 180 on the last leg? I guessed, but that made me feel so free to play that last leg. Yeah, just so relieved, so happy.
When that double 10 went in, if you were able to say it on air, what was the first thing you were thinking?
Yeah, that's thanks to my brother. That's his favorite double, and I knew I pointed to him like, I'm gonna hit it because you hit it so easily, and it was right above corner. I know, but still that mindset that helped me so much.
How important have them lot been, the Marvin Army, because they follow you everywhere they go, everywhere you go, don't they?
They are, like Mike is already a whole week with me from Sportcafé Dijk. He's with me from Sunday morning till now, and when I reached the Saturday night, they went from 3:30 in the morning from Netherlands to here. So that made me feel so special just to do it for me, and also with my brother in here. It's super special, man.
When you look at this trophy, you'll get the chance to lift it in a second. Biggest thing you've ever done in darts?
Yeah, it definitely is now. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, can describe it.
And is this the beginning of the Van Velzen journey? Does it feel like possibly the start of something for you?
I guess I know. Yeah, it is the beginning, but no, I don't know where it ends. It's a super nice achievement already, and yeah, we will see where it ends.
Well, in a few moments' time, you're going to get your moment. Marvin, many congratulations for the trophy presentation. Paul Starr.
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receiving the trophy. £25,000. The new Motor Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Motor Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen.
What a moment for not just Marvin himself, but the Marvin Army, of course, who've come all the way from the Netherlands to support their man. An all-Dutch final they got, both Paul Nicholson and Glenn Durrant alongside me. Glenn, I'll start with you. It's a dream realised, this, isn't it?
Yeah, my mind is going back to how he's feeling right now, and it, like I say, it could be a sound foundation for him. And 25 grand maybe will set him up, but that 10 or 15 seconds when the winning double goes in, it's absolutely fantastic for him. He's been a creditor to the Motor Super Series. He's been a creditor to ADC Europe. I'm absolutely delighted for him.
Yeah, modest memories made on the stage for Marvin, a family affair as well. What a moment for him, Paul.
Absolutely wonderful. And the way he was able to get through his night, it is going to be told for years. The ability to somehow get through that group when he was so close to being eliminated. And then when he gets to the semi-finals, he goes up a notch. And then in the final, he protects his throw so well that he's never broken. He's the only person who got match darts in that final, and that's how you win.
Let's just talk about what it means to other people as well. You've both won major titles, but it's not just about you, it's about sharing those moments, which Marvin's doing now.
Yeah, and like I said, they played their part, and they were all so different. The Connor Scott family were very reserved and just little nods of the head. Then you had the Jimmy Van Schie Barmy Army just going crazy every time he did something. But he just got the balance right. The Marvin Army have travelled over, and for them to share that stage with him now, it's priceless. It's probably a real fairy tale moment for him.
And we got the thrilling final, Paul.
We did. 2 in a row, 4-3. So bring on Series 9, I say. It's been a brilliant series full of a lot of 4-3 finals, I'll say as well. And we just can't get enough of them. And let's face it, this format has been tested over the last couple of years. People have said maybe the final should be best of 9 or best of 11. Tish tosh. Let's keep it a best of 7 because it's brilliant.
Yeah, there is a certain beauty in that, and what a beautiful moment again for Van Velzen lifting the trophy. But let's just have a little word for the other player in that final, Glenn, Jimmy Van Schie. He's got a real love affair, and they love him as well. How disappointed will he be, or should he be disappointed?
Yeah, I think he'd be disappointed, but he probably thought he was out a couple of hours ago. But Jimmy Van Schie goes back all the way to 2011. He's been missing for a good 10 years. He's clearly got the appetite back to play darts, and what's happened to him the past few months is only going to be positive for him going forward now. And he's at Lakeside this year. Does he become real value for money there? Yeah, it's the future's really bright for Jimmy, and a great character.
I only think he made one mistake in that final. I don't think he did much wrong at all, but missing the treble 20 on 130, that's the only mistake he made. If he hits it, he's got a chance to win. He doesn't hit it, he loses. It's as simple as that.
And winning that bullseye before just shows how important it is in a best of 7.
Yeah, although the semi-finals, it wasn't important, was it? And the two favourites at that point you would have felt going out, as we saw Tom Sykes losing the group stages. But were you surprised to see this all-Dutch final tonight?
Yes, yeah, of course I was. I'd be lying if I didn't think Connor Scott and Steve West, the whole romance behind it, and incredibly disappointed Connor Scott walked off the stage. And Steve West, we did sort of call it a little bit where just a little niggle in the crowd, because I think the crowd have been brilliant tonight. You've got to accept that when it's an intimate atmosphere. And listen, I'm someone who did turn round. I was a Steve West, so you know what I mean? You've just got to be really strong up there, and the two that got to the final were.
You did well when they were booing you and Henry on the stage earlier on, though. But I'll give you your credit. You did actually pick Marvin Van Velzen. What did you see in him that you thought he could go and do this tonight?
Look, it's more not just about the judgment. The fact I was here when he won it that week, and I watched this player who hadn't had much success at the Motor Super Series, but he's evolving, he's growing as a player, and I just wanted him to do really well tonight, probably because I was here the week he won it there, and he's just going to get bigger and better, and it's just a great moment. He's got to enjoy tonight.
It's a game about keeping focus, Paul. You've got to do that right to the end. But finally, when that winning double goes in, what must it feel like? Or you'll know, what does it feel like when everything you've worked for has come to fruition?
It's a little bit of relief because it's a validation of all of the work that you've done. And as much as us dart players, we want to put in the work, we want to throw thousands upon tens of thousands of darts to make your dreams come true. When you hit that final shot, you don't want to throw anymore. You don't want to throw one more dart. All you want to do is get the moment, and you want to remember it. Get your fingerprints on the trophy. Do what they do in the NFL, which is get your fingerprints on that trophy and don't rub them off until you have to hand the trophy back. Look at that, though. That is a great double 10. It's nowhere near the 15. Even if he misses it high, he's still got another shot. So that was a very intelligent double 10.
Yeah, and you can see the release of emotion at the end, Glenn.
Yeah, I fell to the floor on mine. He's probably dreamt of that moment 1,000 times, and not once did I fall to the floor in my dreams. So that just is a pure reaction there. And if I could say something to him, just to go up there and just say, just soak it all in, remember it, because you do forget. But that 10 to 15 seconds is the best feeling in the world.
And you don't really want to take that dart out of the board. When he went to get the double 10, for a minute he's thinking, can I just leave it there until Monday morning? But unfortunately, he's got to take his darts with him.
Yeah, he certainly has. And also had the opportunity, of course, to lift the trophy on the Super Series stage. Look, outside of the very elite level of professional darts, there aren't many opportunities to do this in front of an audience. So what a moment that is.
I think it's the biggest prize in amateur darts now. I mean, you see what's happened to the World Masters, so then you're looking at sort of Lakeside as well, which for me doesn't have the same kudos since I left, of course, because it's all about me. But joking aside, this is, I mean, just look what it means to him. It's phenomenal, it's fantastic, and it's a new name, it's a new story, and well done to ADC Europe.
And the first big one for anybody must be pretty special. You remember that Players' Championship win, how it felt when you got your hands on that trophy? We won't say about what happened to the trophy after tonight.
Okay, I didn't drop it. I already told the newspapers that. But sometimes you're in such of a bit of a haze, and I'm not talking about the haze because of the effects in the live lounge. You're thinking about so many things at once that when somebody hands you that trophy, you think, is this actually mine? I remember when I won the Players' Championship finals and I turned to somebody from the northeast of England and I said, did that actually happen? You have to pinch yourself to realise that that's actually happened. And when Marvin was looking back at his family and friends, I don't think there was any doubt that that had just happened. I'm really thrilled for him because not many people will get their hands on that trophy. We have to go through 3 months of marathon darts to get the chance to see someone win the title. And when it's yours, you've just got to thrive for the next few days and say, nobody else has got that trophy but me.
Yeah, and not many people have got their hands on that trophy. He is now on the Roll of Honour. The Modus Super Series, we've had 8 series. Luke Littler won it twice. Just thinking back across all of those series, Glenn, difficult question, maybe a little bit of recency bias, but where does this win rank for you?
Like I said, the Andreas Harrison was the most spectacular ending that you're ever going to see. I was there when Raymond Smith did it and was on a flight back to Australia. The Luke Littler legacy is going to last forever. But Marvin's up there, whether it's the best or the worst, he's done it. You know what I mean? He's evolving as a player. He's a young player. Imagine what that's going to do for him going into the future now.
I just want to say, Paul, as well, Glenn mentioned the Luke Littler legacy. Does how this ranks depend on what happens next for Marvin van Velzen?
Potentially. I think there will be extra pressure on him wherever he goes from here, and he will have a chance to defend the title, I'm sure, before Christmas. Imagine if he was to go on and do that. But I think the legacy of Marvin winning tonight, and if Jimmy had won as well, it's the fact that ADC Europe have a Dutch champion for the first time. And now all those Dutch kids who all throw darts day in, day out, they'll think, I want to do what Marvin's done.
Well, the Modus Super Series is like that diet that I've been on. It starts again on Monday, and Double Trouble is the next thing in line for you to enjoy. Before the next series gets underway, a special week, double start, double finish. You've both played in that format, and this is an interesting cast list, isn't it, for that kind of dangerous event.
Yeah, very much so. You've got a lot of people in Group A, people like Duff, because he's the defending champion. You've got Richie Bennett, who's played in a stack of World Grand Prix. You've got Robert Thornton, who's won a World Grand Prix. And then you've got Scott Mitchell, who's never played double-star darts, apparently. So it'll be a really good baptism of fire for Scott come Monday morning. But my pick for next week, because considering the man to my right actually got his pick right, I'm going to go for Jeff Smith.
Any advance on Smith?
I really like Robert Thornton because of the double start. I mean, you get a lot of players like Ryan Joyce, I think, can win a Grand Prix because he's just absolutely incredible on the doubles there. It feels like a bit of a leveller. That Group A looks really tasty, by the way.
Yeah, Neil Duff's defending his title there. He didn't quite make it to finals night on Champions Week. Steve West is going to be back really early in the next series, so he'll have a chance. And the next thing, I suppose, there's another Champions Night before the end of 2024. Van Velzen, could he do the unthinkable and do the double?
There's no reason why not, because his confidence will be soaring right now. But what he's got to remember is if he wants to get another one, he's got to work maybe even harder than he's worked to get that one. Because now you don't take your foot off the pedal. You don't swim in the success and expect it again. You work even harder to get more of it. But I think the best thing about Series 9 is we're going to crown that champion just before Christmas.
And what's been the best thing about Series 8, Glenn? What have we learned? Who have we learned about in this series?
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's so competitive now. I do talk an awful lot on comms as well at what it means. It's the Modus qualifiers, Northeast, Southeast regions tomorrow as well. It's what it means to so many players. Young players are coming through. It was a real young final there. It does feel at times it's a young man's game. But Marvin Van Velzen, he was the top of the tree and well deserved. Let him enjoy it. Don't worry about Series 9 just yet, Marvin.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for this evening. We'll see you again soon. Hope to see you again soon as well after what's been another magical night here at the Modus Super Series. But in the end, it was Marvin's moment.